How bad is sugar, and especially high fructose corn syrup? In the past few years, there have been many news reports, some featuring high-profile doctors, that have been pointing out the evils of sugar, and more specifically, high fructose corn syrup, even to the point where they're wanting it banned. One of the main concerns they point out with high fructose corn syrup is that it is metabolized differently than sugar, and because of the way it is metabolized, that it is a major contributor to obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. So let's take a closer look at this situation. First, it is true that fructose is metabolized differently than glucose. And when you feed people large amounts of fructose, it can be problematic. However, we don't consume pure fructose or even pure glucose. What we consume are sugars, which are made of varying combinations of fructose and glucose. Table sugar, or sucrose, the most common sugar consumed, is 50% fructose and 50% glucose. High fructose corn syrup is 55% fructose and 45% glucose. So as you can see, they're actually very similar. So the question is this difference between sucrose and high fructose corn syrup enough to make a difference? Well, many studies over several decades have looked at this issue, and some have found a difference. However, these are usually only studies where they use pure fructose and in very large amounts, often over double what we consume as total sugars in our diet. But when studies have compared high fructose corn syrup to sucrose, like they are found in the food supply, they have found virtually no difference in the impact. However, they have found that excess sugars of any type can lead to health problems. So the real issue is not which sugar you're consuming, but how much total sugar you are consuming. The reason is excess sugars can raise triglycerides, blood sugar, insulin, and increase body fat, and so increase our risk for obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and metabolic syndrome. Since sugar is empty calories, excess sugar in a diet makes it harder to have a nutrient-rich diet without consuming extra calories. So what are the recommended amounts? In general, the recommendations are to consume no more than 5 to 10% of your calories from added sugar, regardless of the type. And the good news is, since 1999, sugar consumption has been coming down. Total sugars are down 13%, and high fructose corn syrup is actually down 23%. Sugars still make up about 17% of our calories, which is still 2 to 3 times the recommended limits. So we can still do much better.